is Shador really someone who's a lot better or just a little better? You know what I mean? And then that's when you came back, that's when we asked you, well, Jeff, what does Shador really bring, for example, that Aiden O'Connell doesn't already provide? Right? Like, that's the thing, is Shador's not going to be like quick off his feet. He's not super tall. He's accurate at passing, but he doesn't throw the deepest ball. Like, what does he have that's special? Like, right now, I'll tell you, Dylan Gabriel, what made him special? Accuracy and throwing speed. Everybody was excited about his accuracy and throwing speed. He's like Doug Flutie, but like on steroids a little bit, right? That was Dylan Gabriel. Why was everyone excited about Jalen Milroe? Because he can fucking run almost as good as Genty, I guess. And everybody's like saying he's physically like a Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson. Okay, sure. That makes him different.
But Angelo, I gotta stop you there. That means something in football nowadays. Dylan Gabriel, we all know that Dylan Gabriel is not a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I know.
Oh, no, I agree. No, I agree with you.
Dylan Gabriel was on the best team in the nation all through the year 2024. I think that Colorado overachieved this year.
Yes, gravy. I'm not
Sanders, and it was the reason why they won games was because of this dude. Dylan Gabriel didn't win football games. Dylan Gabriel had one of the best teams in the nation. And that's why Dylan Gabriel got. I think Dylan Gabriel got picked too high, and Shedeur Sanders. To me, Dylan Gabriel should have got picked already. But on that note, just hold up real quick. Angelo. Everybody knows my boy. What up, Twuan, man? How you doing, man? The discussion that we have, I said that I wasn't going to talk about it anymore, but this is somebody. You're the type dude that I know.
I didn't know that. I brought it up. My bad.
But right off the bat, we'll get back on that, Angelo. Don't hold your thought. I'm gonna let you speak that, bro, because I think it's bullshit. And this is we can talk about it more. We can take it at length. But I got a new guest, and I want to get his little vibe. I seen him on show, but I didn't see his input. And he was with a great dude, and I see him clapping for Austin Genty. I didn't see Twuan clap, and that's the reason why I want to ask him, but I see my boy Loon clap like a mug jump, and I heard his scream, I think all the way from here, from Vegas. So that's what I'm down with. Twuan, how you doing, man? And give me your input on the first pick and probably all the way down, bro, in a nutshell. What's going on, bro?
You know what? I'm better now. I'll say it like that.
Sounds like me.
In regards to Genty, I like Genty as a player, but I did not want the Raider Nation or anybody to fall into the hype that as soon as we got Genty, all of a sudden our running game was going to be top 10. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be that. That line has to block up front. So and I, to be honest with you, just my personal opinion, I don't really trust that line we had last year, especially with the guy at Genty, especially if we want him to produce and to succeed, right? He's a talented running back, but he's also a rookie. And anytime a rookie comes in, you want to put everything around them to breed and culture success. So I'm glad that in day 2, they decided to go with some people movers in the 3rd round. And it was funny because as today was going by, I saw kind of how it was playing out. It was like, okay, he's trading back. Wait, what's going off the board? Okay, we don't really need that. That's why he's trading back. But then he stopped and said, okay, this is where I need to get these guys because I need to get. And I was like, and I was talking to my boy Dirty. You guys know Dirty. I told Dirty, I said, there's something that Spytech is looking at in the 3rd round as to why he's getting all these picks and putting them in the 3rd round. So I'm glad that that we got the O lineman for Genty, but I also will say that I do like the wide receiver. I think the wide receiver is a very when I watched the tape on him, it seemed like every time he would just get open. He was just one of those guys that could find his way open. And you need those type of guys on your team. Now, is he going to be an X wide receiver for us? I don't know. I don't know how Chip Kelly wants to run him, but I'll say this: if you put him out there with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer and Jacoby Myers, I think we might have something. So we shall see.
Well, there was an issue that we had and I seen Dirty Show last night. It was super duper late, but I stay up like that. But he was happy with the John T pick, and he expected. Me and Dirty always thought the same, and because we coached, and then I appreciated that. But he wanted offensive line help, and I'm going to ask you later in a little bit after I'm done with my little bullshit. That the people had this exception that we need a big receiver. This is just me, probably in the way I coach. That I don't need that. I'm not really, whacking off to a 50-50 ball guy. I'm not doing that. I'd rather have two. I'd rather have two sure catch, strong hands. The thing what they're saying about this guy Twuan is that he's violent after the catch, bro. He looks, he's gone. And I'm seeing an ongoing thing with Pete Carroll saying he wants guys that break tackles and you can't get them down, or it's going to be hard to do. I see that with Genty and this guy. First two picks, they're hard to bring down. So that means they got the knack, they got this drive to. I'm gonna go get you. You ain't getting me down on the first hit. So these big safeties, these big corners that are out there, they expect to get bombed on. And Chip Kelly, he throws a lot of middle of the field passes. That zone read, play action. You go one way, he looks, boom, right in the middle of the field, and that guy's open. But best be sure you got a corner or safety coming right in your face. But the way that they're saying, sure-handed, takes balls away from corners, the physicality of it. And Dirty was saying the same thing last night. That the physical type stuff. That's what I dig. So a little guy, he's not little, he's a big boy, but he's just not 6'4", 6'5". That 50-50 ball stuff, it happens maybe 10 times a season. So I would rather get a guy that gets 12 catches and extend the play than a guy that you could get one post corner and he gets it. You know what I mean? But that's just me. And what I wanted to get with that, when you were talking about you beef up the offensive line, what's your feelings on the two guys we got in the third round? To me, third round picks need to be in the game. You need to be in the game if you're a third round pick. I don't care when you got picked. If it's in the third round, you need to make an impact on that field as a third round pick.
I think
real
you're
quick,
right.
Juan, before you go, I just want to interject because then I'm going to get out of here. I got to get up.
All right,
tomorrow. What really sells me on both Genty and Beck is go back and watch when their name's called. Genty, yes, because of where he was there and in that
was
moment.
Happy then they were happy.
Yep. But watch Beck when they call his name, his reaction. If that doesn't tell you right there that he's happy or excited to go to where he's going to, then you tell me otherwise, because he was legit ecstatic that he got picked to come to this team. You can see it on his face. He knows he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's not only playing for himself, he's playing for his brother too. So his
brother was a Raider fan, bro. His brother was a Raider fan.
Yep. So this means the world to this kid. This kid wants to be on this team, and us drafting him is fucking huge. Yeah. So I am 100% behind every move we've made. There's not one pick so far that makes me go, why? They're all good. The only one that's gonna right now, based on who we've picked, that is probably not gonna start right away, is gonna be the tackle. Only because we've already got Glaze and we've already got Miller. Other than that, the other four are probably going to be starters right away, more than likely. And was it the cornerback that says he wants to also play special teams? No, he wants to do special teams. He wants to do returns and shit.
No, he's in the special teams.
Mandatory.
No, he blocks. He blocks.
Corner's going to do that. Big corners like that. Dude, the dude has 3 blocks in that season, 3 block punts and 3 block punts in that season. That's probably why they got him.
Spytek and Carroll talked about their press conference after the draft tonight. So this is a kid that wants to play, whether it's on special teams or defense. This kid wants. So these are guys, 4 guys. Last year we had 3. We've got 4 right now. It looks like that are going to be starters on day 1. For that, I am extremely excited for. So I'll give A for Thursday, and today gets an A fucking plus. You know, extra credit. They scored 110 points on a test today, basically. So that's my take on everything. And Gravy, you got the link. Angela, you got the link. And I will see you guys tomorrow at some point.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. I know it's late over there, man. Thank you for blessing us with your knowledge, bro. See you tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Take care, everybody.
Night, man.
Hey, so
weekend.
Yeah.
So now, Gravy, let me just like finish up my point on what I was saying. So my whole point about when you were talking to me about Dylan Gabriel, right? Think about this. What do we know about Kevin Stefanski as a coach? He loves his quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. He knows his quarterbacks. He understands it. He trained Kirk Cousins, right? And here he is back with Joe Flacco, and he's a quarterback guy. We know that. So how is a quarterback guy who's coaching Cleveland, who was a coach of the year, picking a 5'11", 5'10"-ish Hawaiian to come to Cleveland in the snow, who's a lefty, unless Kevin Stefanski, who's a quarterback expert, sees something more in Gabriel than he did in someone like Sanders. So take away what you said about, well, you know, if you put Dylan Gabriel, I'm sure I understand what you're saying. If you put Shedeur Sanders in where Dylan Gabriel was with Oregon, I'm sure he would do great. Yeah. Question, though, is would he do the same amount of stats? Because, like you said, Oregon had a better team too, right? Yeah. So maybe Dylan Gabriel does have the ability and have that kind of chip on his shoulder, kind of like a Doug Flutie, a little bit, and maybe that's why Stefanski took him. And that's all I'm saying is, and then when I started naming all those other quarterbacks, all of them who made the playoffs, all of them who also had great stats, all of them who had measurables, how many of those guys, how many can you say, Gravy, when I said all those names, are you going to tell me that Sanders is 100% better? He's not 100% better than the overall body of work that Quinn Ewers put out. He's not 100% better than the body of work that even Curtis Rourke put out last year.
Quinn Ewers was on a better football team, and Quinn Ewers is a senior, and Quinn Ewers had somebody. I think they did Quinn Ewers a favor because Ark Manning is way better than he is.
I see it. But okay, and you know what? Let's think about that one for a second. So here's Arch Manning. He comes into that team. Did Quinn Ewers handle it poorly? Not really. You know, he handled it.
Team, though. He had a better team.
No, but what I'm saying is attitude. Like
Shedeur Sanders didn't have a better team. I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that team elevated itself, not because Travis Hunter. He was a big part of it, but Shedeur Sanders was 50%, maybe 60% part of that winning over there, and he deserves that recognition. Then Dylan Gabriel. You can't say he's a better quarterback.
Yeah. No, nobody's taking that away. But part of being a quarterback is a leader, right? So we saw what happened when Ryan Leaf went number 22, and then we saw what happened when Tom Brady went 199. Sometimes, dude, adversity and also like having to fight for what you want. That's why I'm so high on Aiden O'Connell. He fought for everything that he got, right? So Deion's kid, I'm not saying he doesn't fight for it. I'm just saying this is the first time he's really seeing this real adversity of, hey, bro, you're trying to get in the league and nobody wants you.
That was my thing. He's in a different type of thing. You know, he was a different type of – it's a different scenery when you're by yourself and you're so used to having somebody behind you to have your back. He didn't have to explain himself on what ain't no coach going up to Shedeur Sanders and bitching at him and telling him you fucked up, and then without his dad getting involved in it. His dad will do it. Okay, that's all you seen. If he gets to the NFL, his daddy ain't gonna be able to do that. And then you get offensive coordinators going there. You fucked up. God damn it. And cussing at him. Maybe he doesn't know what to do. Maybe his reaction is like, where's my dad? You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it is. And I'm pretty sure that he's mature enough. He knows. But when you grow up in that type situation, all your whole life, bro, when your dad coaches you and things like that, that's why it's not really good to have a fight all the way through. You know, the high school coach, yeah, they groom you, they go to college, and then he's not your coach no more. You know what I mean? But all through football, that's all he had there. And it kind of made excuses for him. His dad did, but he didn't mess up in a way to where nobody would react to his flaws. And his dad wouldn't pat him on the back and say, "Oh, it's all right, son." I'm not saying that baby stuff, but when somebody else in the NFL, you know, he's gonna get bitched at, and he's gonna get schooled, and he's gonna be called a bitch, and he's gonna be called this and that and that and that. It happens. That's a part of football. So his reaction, maybe my initial thing was like, you know, he didn't react to that when he was in these rooms. And people said his reaction to questions, and he wasn't in there all like this. Maybe he just didn't know what to do. He probably was prepared for it, but when it got really deep, and they get really deep in you, like Sykes, bro, they get deep in you to like Sykes and ask you questions. Well, I didn't know they were gonna ask me like this, you know. And when he's secluded in a box, he's probably like, you know, where's my dad to get me out of this? And it wasn't there, so he's on his own. You know, have to do his own shit. And maybe people see that and then react to it. But what he's getting treated now, I'm done with that, bro. It can't be that. It's something against him or his father that are doing it.
But and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate
now, though, is that there's no when we went through the list of all the 32 teams, none of them except the Steelers are quarterback needy. I mean, not needy. None of them are needy. They're like, oh, we have an option. And when I started saying those names, Will Howard, Quinn Ewers, Riley Leonard, those are options. So any team can sit there and be like they don't need Shedeur. They don't need.
I want to leave Twuan out of this. I know Twuan has a lot to say on it. I don't know if he's tired of talking about it, but I know he wants to. But Twuan, since we're on the subject, bro, give me what you think about this one. Because it's hard not to talk about it. People say, I don't want to talk about it. It's hard not to.
It really is, because and the reason why it's hard not to talk about it is because it's something that should not be happening. Yeah. Simple as that. There in no way we should be having one of the top quarterbacks in the draft not getting picked, and we're in day 3. You know what I'm saying? And there's other guys that have leapfrogged him that weren't even projected to be, you know what I'm saying, by all these analysts that say that, oh yeah, they're, you know, these were the top quarterbacks. How are they getting picked over this guy? You know, and I think there's a lot of misinformation. I think there's a lot of people that don't really understand, you know what I'm saying, maybe what he has gone through as a player, you know what I'm saying, under his dad. You know, there's the people say, oh yeah, he's been coached by his dad. Yeah, his dad was the head coach, but in reality, his head coaching style was he allowed his offensive coordinators to run the offense. So, you know, the latest coordinator that he had was Pat Shurmur. So yeah. Pat Shurmur was dealing with Shedeur, you know what I'm saying, on a basis. Of course, as a head coach, the head coach tells the offensive coordinator what he wants out of the offense, but it's up to Pat Shurmur to get Shedeur out there to do whatever it is out there on the field. So there's a lot of misinformation in regards to that, but I think it's a shame that we're sitting here looking at the number 2 or the number 3 quarterback in this draft, and he's still sitting on day 3.
And so it's Twuan.
It's hard for him to smile it, man. I know it's very hard for him to just be nonchalant and not get pissed off, bro. I know it is, bro. It's hurt. You're hurting this man now.
Yeah.
You're fucking with this stuff, bro. You know.
But I want to make sure that when we're saying these statements, Twuan, I was stating facts, right? So factually. So let's talk about it when you say that.
When you're talking about play, yes.
Did you think that Cam Ward should have been not taken and Sanders should have been the number one pick? No, you do not. Cam Ward is okay. So now let's go back down. There were a lot of analysts that were saying that Jackson Dart might actually be the second pick taken. Okay. A lot of people were comparing Jackson Dart to
I thought Jackson Dart was a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I thought Jackson Dart was a better quarterback.
So then we can agree. Okay. New York Giants needed
I can take that, yeah.
Okay, all right. So now let's keep going down. And this was our conversation on Jeff's show. We were saying, look at all these teams, look at their entire roster, look at all the quarterback that they have. And we're like, damn, man, there's not really, we don't really need a quarterback, so you can't count us. So then I was like, all right, Steelers are going to need one, Cleveland's going to need one, and then that's really it. Everything else is optional, right? So then now this is where it gets, this can get sticky. The next quarterback that gets taken off the board is Seattle. Before Seattle was even taking a quarterback, I kept telling everybody during the draft, Seattle's not going to take a quarterback, man. They just signed Sam Darnold to all that money, bro.
And what'd they do?
Quarterback for? Why would they do that? That's stupid. And they already have a backup. Blah, blah, blah. They took Jalen Milroe, which shocked me. I was like, the fuck was that all about, right?
Yeah.
But
needs a lot of work. Needs a lot of work, though, Angelo.
Okay. Now, what have we heard, though, from analysts about the whole thing with Jalen Milroe? He's the best runner out there, maybe second to Genty. His measurables are crazy. He's a super athlete. They're comparing him to fucking Michael Vick, dude, which I'm like, all right. I guess.
But he got picked. He got picked, or everybody said that he was going to get picked, though, bro. Everybody said he was going to get picked.
Gravy. Let me just talk about this, all right? Because what Twuan was saying is, well, these people shouldn't have been picked over Sanders. Was Seattle, honestly, Twuan, gonna pick someone like a Sanders when they already paid for Sam Darnold to be the guy? Versus they have a project now that they could be like, well, we're not gonna start you anyway. We're just gonna kind of have you as a gadget dude, maybe sometimes.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
And to be honest with you, Angelo, I think all the quarterbacks in this draft were projects, top to bottom. Okay. I think to be honest with you, as much as people love Cam Ward, I think Cam Ward needs to sit at least.
Okay.
Sit, not maybe not a complete year, but he needs to sit and learn behind a veteran. And I think all the quarterbacks that, again, this was my rankings of the quarterbacks. You had Cam Ward, Shedeur, that was my favorite, but Shedeur, Jackson Dart, and then everybody else under that. So I felt like, okay, well, hey, let's talk Raiders, right? We got Geno Smith. He's a vet. Why can't we stash Shedeur under Geno? Or why can't we stash so-and-so under Geno? And then we'll be good to go. Because that's where we were. That's how we failed in years past. We had.
Can I tell you this one? Can I interject and I'll let you go right after? Because the way Raider fans are, bro, and you know this, Twuan, the way Raider fans are, the first time Geno fucks up, we're going to be calling for this dude right off the bat, and he ain't going to be fucking ready. And he's going to make it's going to be even worse than what it is now.
Versus Aiden O'Connell could step right up.
That's why I don't want him, bro. It'll be better if he don't come to us. And I hate to say it, but it'll be better. Go ahead.
Gravy is 100% right. And the other thing, too,
finish your statement, Twuan. Well, first of all, tell me if you agree with me or not. Tell me if you agree with me. We would do that. We would do that, Twuan. You know we will.
We do that with every player.
It doesn't even have to be the quarterback. Especially quarterback, we would do that.
But Twuan, here's the second thing I just want to add, and I'll let you keep going. Twuan, so the second thing is, if you watch the press conference today with Spytek and Carroll, basically they already said it out loud without saying it directly. But when they were asked, hey, why did you take these particular players? And they were also specifically talking about even the offensive line players, right? The offensive wide receiver. They said there's a system in place and we're picking the players that fits Chip Kelly's system because we have a whole plan on how we're doing it. Now, the minute they said that first sentence, I was like, if we are going to take a quarterback, it's going to be fucking Will Howard. Because if you're talking system and all that shit, then it's going to be Will Howard. But second, and you could probably get Will Howard in the 7th round. If we're being honest, the way things are going right now, Will Howard might drop either in the 6th or the 7th or something late because nobody's taking quarterbacks anyways, right? Okay. Second point, they started talking about the type of players that they want is a non-ego type player first. They want they started talking about all the things that the narrative right now about Shedeur Sanders is being put out there. So I can't see the Raiders, no matter how talented you believe Shedeur Sanders is, taking them because that's not their guy. And now you have to ask yourself, Twuan, when you start talking about all this again, who wants them? Who's going to take them? So go ahead.
So it's still, you know, as even if it's not the Raiders, it's still a situation where he should be that second quarterback on somebody's depth chart. I still believe in that aspect of it. So whether it's us or whether it's another team that has a starting quarterback, they should already have that person in place to replace whoever that is. And I think that's, again, it goes back to, you know, one of our downfalls with this team. We had Derek Carr here for how many years, and we didn't have nobody behind him, you know what I'm saying, to replace him. And then we had to go on this massive carousel of trash quarterbacks, we can say, at this point. And, you know, we were all trying to justify as, we thought they were going to be winners and all of that stuff, and it didn't turn out. So that's why I'm saying it doesn't have to necessarily be the Raiders, but there has to be somewhere.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that,
because somewhere for this guy on a roster.
And Twuan, I'm glad you said that, because when you started, that's what we were talking about on Jeff's show. When you were saying there has to be somewhere. Well, after Milroe, when the Saints needed a quarterback, because we could agree the Saints kind of need somebody behind Derek Carr, right? Who did they take? They took Tyler Shuck. Now, Gravy, are you going to tell me that Tyler Shuck didn't make his ratings go higher, especially after the combine and all of that? Everybody started talking about how good Tyler Shuck was, right? I'm not trying to tell you that
run up.
Sanders,
he had a good little run moving up to now. Yeah, I remember.
So the Saints, who is a quarterback needy team, Twuan, right? Because somebody needs to be behind Derek Carr, decided to take Tyler Shuck over Sanders. Now try to explain to me why that happened.
Well, we can't. Let me do it first one. You can't sit there and tell me that, hey, this guy Kellen is going to sit there and say, you know, Shedeur Sanders is a quarterback that I need to run my shit. He's not. He's not the type quarterback that Kellen does. You know, that you got to think that too, bro. You can't just say, hey, Shedeur Sanders could go and run the freaking wing T, or you know, Shedeur Sanders come over here and run the double wing T. You have to fit somewhere, Angelo. That's why these guys are getting picked there. You know what I mean?
No, but I hear you. But you got to give me.
Shedeur Sanders doesn't fit. Shedeur Sanders doesn't fit what New Orleans want to do.
Thank you.
Think that. All right.
Exactly.
Tyler Shuck does. It's not a knock on the Saints. It's not a knock on the Saints. We're saying uneducated people about anything are saying, well, the Raiders can pick Shedeur Sanders because Tom Brady coached them, or Tom Brady he goes to the TB3. But I told you that all the other, so did Cam Ward. You know what I mean? Just like you can't say that this ain't racial because the Cam Ward was the number one pick was a black quarterback. You can't say that. But the thing is that Does Shador Sanders fit our team? Yes, he does. So the thing is,
Not really.
I think he
You
does.
think he could run? You think he could run Chip Kelly's offense, dude? The way Chip Kelly likes to run.
Chip Kelly doesn't need a running quarterback. Chip Kelly doesn't need a Milroy. It's just Milroy is just an asset.
Well, I didn't want Milroy anyways.
I don't want my
anyways.
Chip Kelly doesn't want his quarterbacks running design draws with his quarterback. You can't do. It's hard to do. Only Lamar and Milroy and all them big dudes, fast guys, could do that. He wants to be efficient. You want to score in the red zone. You want to do things like that. It's very efficient in football. Who is efficient and who's accurate and who's passing and good at just handing off the ball? Shador
Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell is
but he's slow, bro.
He'll
take a sack. And there's a knock on Shador Sanders that he's running away, and he runs into sacks. Okay, but that's development. So in the beginning, I was saying that Shador Sanders in the second round, that's where he belongs. He should get picked right here. Okay, all the overhype is done with. He should get picked right here. But see, now we're in the fourth round. The talent is not an issue now. The talent of being quarterback is not an issue now. The running into sacks, that's not fourth round shit. The slow quarterbacks, the dudes that don't have good arms, and the bad quarterbacks are getting picked now. Shador Sanders is not one. He doesn't have one of those flaws. He should have got picked higher. You know, with all this bias that's being put on him, it's something else. It's something else, Angelo.
Gravy, it's so funny. It's so funny that, you know, as much as we've watched the draft, you know what I'm saying, we've known that day threes, you know what I'm saying, are usually projects. You know what I'm saying? And they're serious projects. It's like, oh, we picked this athletic tackle that's never played tackle before, but he has all the measurables, so we're just gonna draft him here. You know what I'm saying? That's when you draft.
It works that way in the fifth round, sixth round.
And I don't think that Shador is that. So that's why, again, to what you're saying, Gravy, I think there is something wrong because he's not that broken. You know what I'm saying?
Now, there's nothing wrong with him
at this point. If he gets
look at this, Angelo. Look at this, Angelo. You got to get to the point when you reach the fourth round already. Okay, this is beyond even at worst where he was supposed to get picked at. Be worse. Okay. Once we hit the second round, I say, okay. Let's get started. Shador Sanders' name's gonna get called. Once it got in the third, I was like, man, what's wrong with this dude?
Gravy. Okay, so let's talk about that. All right. So again, I'm just trying to hit a nail on the head for you guys to understand where it. If I was trying to explain what might be happening on a very PC level, right? I would say,
okay, don't give me stuff you're reading. Tell me what you feel, and tell me.
I'm telling you. I want to give you facts, though, dude.
What's the problem? What do you think the problem? Why do you think this is happening to him? Tell me. I don't want to hear that Dylan Gabriel was better. He was in the offense and all this stuff. Okay. Why do you think Shador Sanders, him alone, is getting treated this way?
Two big reasons, and it's simple, Gravy. Okay. This year, number one, is not a quarterback needy draft. We knew the specific teams that needed a quarterback. There's a difference between needing a quarterback, right? Like the Raiders don't count because we just signed Geno Smith to a big contract. You no longer become a needy quarterback. You become a team that picks the quarterback that you might, try to learn and blah, 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 and project and all that shit. So you're no longer needy. So what were the needy teams? Tennessee needed one, I guess, because they don't like Will Levis. Boom, they got Cam Ward, right? New York Giants, we all know, needed one because they just fucking got rid of Daniel Jones, and Russell Wilson ain't gonna cut it, and neither is Jameis Winston. So everybody knew that, right? You start to go past that. Who were the quarterback needy teams? You could say that because of Derek Carr's situation, the Saints would have needed one. You could say that the Cleveland Browns, because Joe Flacco's old as hell.
But they got their quarterbacks now. They got their quarterbacks now. Tell me what is wrong with.
No, Gravy, you gotta let me. You're asking me. I said there's two reasons. So I'm trying to explain it to you. Number one, this year of the 32 teams, maybe only 3 needed one, and those people that needed it knew the quarterback that they wanted, and they did not want Shador Sanders. when I asked you that question, you said, well, Tyler Shuck fits the Saints system. Okay. And then the same thing happened with the Titans, right? So those were the quarterback needy teams. The only quarterback needy team left is the Steelers, bro. And the Steelers, that's the question. Now that becomes the question. Why won't someone like the Steelers take someone like Shedeur Sanders, who's
because you have an option of Aaron Rodgers that you're into. You have an option with Aaron Rodgers. I think you got a handshake deal. You got a handshake deal with Aaron Rodgers when he's done with his bullshit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what I think with the Pittsburgh situation is. So that eliminates them.
So that's number one, right?
Can I say something quick on that? I think that's the most stupidest thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers are embarking themselves on, because when you have even if you get Aaron Rodgers, I'm fine with you getting Aaron Rodgers, but what happens if Aaron Rodgers says I want to leave? Then they got to go find another quarterback. So it shouldn't matter if they drafted a quarterback to for now and got Aaron Rodgers to, let's just say they drafted Shedeur. Shedeur could sit there under Aaron Rodgers, and then when Aaron Rodgers leaves, then Shedeur already knows the system. He knows what's going on. He knows the personnel. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? It's a smooth transition. They're messing themselves up in this way just because of the preference of a guy named Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, now, Twuan, again, I'm talking. Gravy asked me a question. The second reason why Shedeur Sanders is not getting taken right now and he's dropping so far is because last year there were so many quarterbacks taken that you got to let those start to develop, right? So we ran through every team. So I'm going to run through them fast. Arizona, they already got Kyler Murray. Atlanta, they got Penix and Cousins they got to deal with. Baltimore, they got to deal with Lamar right now, right? Buffalo got Allen. Carolina can't take Sanders because they got to try to work with Bryce Young.
I'm not going to go through every team with you, Angelo. I'm not going to go through every team.
I'm trying to tell you that's what I kept saying to Twuan. You can't name me one team, that would appreciate having Sanders as a project, because they have their own fucking project. Gravy, they already have their own project.
Well, I understand you with that. You're not telling me nothing new, bro. You're not telling me nothing new.
But those are the two biggest reasons, is because he's not a fit for them. And then, of course, everybody's going to say it's a character thing. Everybody on the chat saying it's a character thing. I can't say it's a character thing because I don't know this kid. I've never sat and had coffee with him. I don't know if he's a good kid or a bad kid. I don't know any of that. And I'm not going to assume to know Deion Sanders because he's cocky. Shit. A lot of people would bust Floyd Mayweather for this, that. I knew Floyd. I fucking worked with Roger Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather deserves to be cocky. Deion Sanders deserves to be cocky. And if you're a son of Deion Sanders and you're a son of Floyd Mayweather, you deserve to be cocky too.
Gravy. That's not my point. My point is people looked at someone like Floyd and thought he was a certain type of way. But if you knew the guy that was around us, you would actually know the type of person he was. So my point is, I don't know Deion Sanders. I ain't ever had no lunch or nothing with him. I don't know his kid. I don't know Shedeur. So I can't say his character is bad. I can't say this. I can't say that. Because I don't know. I didn't fucking interview him, so I don't know, right? And it's hard enough for me to deal with this new generation. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, I don't know. I don't know what his generation, how they'd be calling everybody bruh. They call their mom bruh. They call their dads bruh. Like, I don't know. I don't know how well Shedeur did in those interviews. But my point is, I don't think that's the main reason why he's not getting taken. I think the main reason why he's not getting taken is supply and demand. And right now, there's not a great demand. No matter how good Shedeur is, there's not a great demand
anymore.
I think there is a demand, and the demand is with the Raiders, because as many times as I've been on lives and saw people's chats, they want AOC on the next thing smoking. So what other quarterback do we have?
Twuan, I already told you, if you listen to the press conference, from what both Pete Carroll and Spytek said, is it's a system thing, right? So if they're going to pick a system, who do you think they're going to take? Will Howard or Shedeur Sanders? If they were going to take a quarterback.
I'm fine either way.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you is he's not needed with the Raiders. They want Will Howard. They're not going to take him. They're trying to do a specific system. So name me another team that needs him, or that would want to train a better quarterback.
Either way, you go with a better quarterback, though. That's a factor too, Angelo. I'm very into scheme. I'm very into scheme. But if you got a little bit of quickness in your feet, and you are semi-accurate and got a good arm, you can run what Pete Carroll does. Okay, and it's a totally different thing what Chip Kelly did at Ohio State than what he's gonna do in the NFL. That's what I've been saying. It's gonna be totally different. Yes, he's gonna know terminology. Yes, he's gonna know, what zone and what to do, and a little bit what to do. But that's the NFL. When you get introduced to the NFL with the same offensive coordinator or coach, it's 20% of what you did in college. The rest of the 80 is NFL shit that you do not know. And I hate when people these two running backs will fit the system. No, it's not. It's different. It's going to be very different. Chip Kelly's offense was crayons. That's my analogy of it. It's crayons at Ohio State. Now, when it gets to the NFL, it's a fine line pen that you buy at a pen shop. It's different. And so they're saying that, the system. Don't say that no more, dude, because it's not. It's not going to be like I don't hate, but I get upset because I already know your football, your football IQ when you say, well, it's the same thing. It's not. It's not. And NFL players will tell you, I don't like when people say that it's going to be the same thing, especially coaches. It's not the same thing. NFL and college is totally different. That's why when you get great college players suck in the beginning because they can't get it, even though they go to the same system. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It happens. So I would rather take Shedeur Sanders over Will Howard in a minute.
And okay, so here's the thing, Gravy. And again, we got to only go off of the information that we know, right? Have you seen the Will Howard interview where he was getting interviewed it was like one of those like John Gruden type interviews, and what would you and the interviewer was like doing they showed the clip of him for real getting interviewed by a team, right? So they showed the dude looks at Will Howard and goes, and can you answer this question? Why would any of the teams, why would they want to take you? And Will Howard, when he fucking looked at that dude, it was so real. It was like a sermon, bro. It was like he was like basically telling this person, because he said, I promise you right now that I'm looking at every quarterback that's taken before me, and I'm going to make it my life's mission to prove to everyone why I was better than all of them. And I'm like,
Angelo, I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only one that said shit like that either, bro.
No, but I mean, it looked pretty fucking convincing to me, and I was like, okay, now let's talk marriage.
If he was so convincing to you, how come he ain't got picked yet?
Because no, okay, tell me how many quarterbacks have gotten picked. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All the quarterback needy teams already got their quarterback. We're not a quarterback needy team. So name me another quarterback needy team that would want to take a project.
You're not a needy quarterback team. I was with you on that. I didn't want to get Shedeur Sanders. I didn't want to get him.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. So why would
now we're in a position right now. We're in a position right now where this dude is getting picked as a backup. I want?
Okay,
he doesn't have no choice about it. You're not picking your starting quarterback in the 4th round. So it's like,
okay,
all right. You're going to be in a backup role. You have to accept it. You have to accept that you're going to be in a backup role. Then that's when Shedeur Sanders comes into play. That's what I'm saying.
So check this out. Listen. All right. Okay, cool. I'm not going to sit there and try to say that what Shedeur Sanders showed as a player, especially with the shit O-line that he had, all the toughness that he showed as a player, how accurate he was, throwing in the windows, his ability to scramble at times, even though he's not a runner, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to try to say, okay, Shedeur isn't better in that individual sense of that as Will Howard. What I'll say, though, is right now on the rankings, Shedeur Sanders ranks as 1. Will Howard ranks right behind him. So if the next team that takes a quarterback takes Will Howard, what I'll say to you is Well, that team wanted someone who was a little bit bigger than Sanders because Will Howard is 6'4", 220. Sanders is only 6'2", 210, 215, right? Yeah. Maybe they wanted someone who was a national champion and also took a team like Kansas State all the way to the, did well in the Big 12. Like, I don't know, like that could be the reason. I'm just saying that he's not that much worse. If we're picking a backup, he's not that much worse. All right. So when you ask me the question, well, why hasn't Will Howard gotten taken yet? Because there hasn't been a big quarterback run. What we've seen is here's the teams that needed one. So, for example, the Steelers, right? What if the Steelers go, okay, sure, we're going to take a quarterback now. We're going to take Will Howard. Well, all that's going to tell me is if they get Aaron Rodgers, that probably shows Aaron Rodgers that he's going to be the quarterback for at least the next 2 years, 2 to 3, and that Will Howard won't be ready. Versus Shedeur Sanders might make someone like Aaron Rodgers go, wait a minute, are you trying to replace me already after year one?
I don't like this, Angelo. You're making me think too much, dude. And I'm on Oxycontin, bro. Making me think too much.
That's the
that's
problem.
Good. That's a very good analogy, though. I appreciate that, Angelo. I'm not lying to you. That was a good breakdown, bro. You said good words.
But that's the problem. What does Pete Carroll talk about? What does Pete Carroll's name say in the thing that he believes in? Compete. So if you're not bringing in competition, if you're not bringing in somebody that's possibly better than what you already have, then you're not really building your team.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. So to be fair, Twuan, let's say the Raiders take Shedeur Sanders on their very next pick. Okay. Do you believe Shedeur Sanders could beat out Geno Smith, who are now paying $40 million?
He's not going to be competing with Geno Smith. He's going to be competing with Aiden O'Connor and the other guys that they get. He shouldn't be competing.
Well, he's going to beat out Carter Bradley. We know he's going to beat out Carter Bradley.
He might, but he's competing with Aaron O'Connell. He's not competing with Geno Smith. He's at the level right now.
So now, no. I want to talk Twuan through this because he's.
But this is what we're doing. This is what people are doing, Twuan. We're expecting this dude to come in and start. No, it's not. No. That's not the case anymore.
But listen, okay. So Twuan, we take Sanders and we use the 108 pick on Sanders, right? Okay. So now we got Sanders. Okay, he's competing with Aiden. So let's say Aiden beats him out because Aiden just shows that he's got more of the pro experience as the solid backup. What the fuck do you do now on your 53-man roster? You open it up so that you're protecting Sanders so that he doesn't end up in the practice squad, bro.
We opened it up to protect Aiden O'Connell. Yeah. We opened it up to protect Aiden O'Connell.
No, we didn't. We never put Aiden on the practice squad so that somebody else can get him.
What you do?
No, we didn't.
Like I said, we're in a situation where Shedeur Sanders might have to be on the fucking practice squad and develop.
So why would we use a 4th-round pick for a guy that we're going to put in the practice squad anyways? That's ridiculous. Tell me anyone who picked someone in the 4th round to end up becoming a practice squad player. That's fucking crazy, and you both know.
Quarterbacks. The only position that can happen is a quarterback.
Oh, my gosh. Even Jordan Travis, bro, got taken into 5th.
I don't even know who that is.
Jordan Travis. He was Florida State, and he messed up his leg. Yeah,
maybe.
But that's what I'm saying.
Shedeur Sanders going to get picked in the 4th round, bro.
But you're doing that because you're believing that Shedeur is going to be your future franchise quarterback. So you're
telling me that the 4th round pick is the future franchise quarterback? That's what they're saying.
If you have him here long enough and he actually does produce, yes, he can be a franchise quarterback.
Dude, then why do we have to pick him at 4th since we know no other teams are taking him? We can just take him as one of our 6th round picks.
We can. He might fall down to it. That's the answer. To take him. Pick him.
That might be a possibility. But you have.
Go ahead, Twuan.
You carry 3 quarterbacks, right? So you have Geno. You said Aiden beat out Shedeur. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. So you have Geno, you have Aiden, and you have Shedeur. Bye Bradley.
Yeah. And as long as we use like a 6th or a 7th round pick. Yeah, as long as we use a 6th or 7th round pick. So now
you agree with that, right? You agree with that. But it gets to that situation, maybe like a 5th, maybe a 6th round, late 5th round. I'm cool with putting the dude back there, bro. I'm cool with picking him and doing it because the way I feel about that, I want to be the team that gives them the opportunity. Now I want that opportunity at the 5th round to pick him and have him bust ass when he really shows us his talent and learns this shit. I want to be in that situation when Gino's ready to go.
And now let me say this too, then, right? So then, if it does get to a point where, let's say, the Raiders are in the, I mean, this would be crazy, but we're in the 6th spot. Nobody's really taking quarterbacks because there's wide receivers that are talented still. There's some edges that are still talented. There's still a linebacker run that needs to happen. There's still, I mean, there's so many other running backs are all still there. But let's say we do get to the 6th round, right? Will Howard hasn't been taken. Shedeur Sanders hasn't been taken. Now ask yourself honestly, dude, like ask yourself, Twuan, if Will Howard and Shedeur are still there, who do you really think Carroll and Spytek and Kelly are going to want to take as their quarterback? Not necessarily as of the future, just as their quarterback project that they're going to end up putting in the practice squad anyway. Is it really going to be Sanders, or do they want someone who understands the system already?
We'll find out. We'll find out, bro. We can't say that. We can't say
no. Nobody's. No. So that my whole point was, no one's going to dispute you when you say, "Well, is Shedeur Sanders the best remaining quarterback in terms of individual talent and what he's already shown potential?" Nobody's going to argue that with you. But now, what I was arguing with Gravy is, now let's talk about every team and who they need and who they want in their system. And obviously, the Saints, who needed a quarterback, wanted Tyler Shuck. I don't know. I can't tell you why Kevin Stefanski wanted Dylan Gabriel more than he wanted even Will Howard. He could have taken Will Howard and been like, great, Ohio State, everybody's going to love it. It's Cleveland, right? But he didn't. And Shedeur,
good luck to them, bro. Good luck to them. And no disrespect, but I don't give a shit. And then, you know what? The only reason why I care, bro, about what the Shedeur Sanders goes or this, because it's bullshit now, bro. I think I'm kind of feeling like a vendetta against this dude because what he didn't do.
No, and Gravy's trying to defend him, and all I'm trying to say
I'm not defending him, bro. I'm not defending him. I didn't want Shedeur Sanders. Believe me,
but you're trying to say that it's wrong what they're doing to him. Is what you're
because I don't think it's football. I don't think it's football, and actually I don't even think it's his attitude or anything like that. I think there's something against Shedeur Sanders and not to get drafted. I'm going that way, bro. I'm going that way, and I don't want to say conspiracy or anything like that. He's getting fucked by somebody not to pick him because we both know, all three of us know that it ain't talent. He's not fourth round.
Nobody's gonna say that.
I get that, Gravy. I think it you know, there comes a time, and I know your mindset on things. There comes a time when right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, he's talented. You know what I'm saying? So you would think that the draft would be, oh, we're drafting guys, the most talented of the class is going to get rewarded and get picked, and that's not the case in this situation. It's a blackball situation. It's whatever you want to call it. You know, Gravy uses words that I don't like to use, but he's right. He's right on that, and I think that's where a lot of people are like, that's why it's wrong. That's why it's wrong, because we all of us have thought that the NFL draft was, oh, we're the best of the best gets picked. You know what I'm saying? And they get picked, you know, according to their value. If he's a number one, he's going to be number one. Maybe number, you know, maybe round two. But I can't accept that.
Yeah,
I can't
weird.
accept.
It's just weird, Angelo, and I hope you get the sense that this is weird. It's beyond football, bro. It's beyond football, and that's not right, bro. That's not right. That's not right.
And all I'm trying to say is, it's not that I disagree with what you're saying about it's beyond football. All I'm trying to say is you got to lay out the facts so far of the quarterbacks that's been picked.
I understand what you're saying with the teams and the football and all that.
Yes,
I understand what you're saying with that.
So
I agreed with you. I agreed with you like 4 times with that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying is if
what I always go back to, what I always go back to, Angelo, is that you got to break down your wall on this and saying he's getting fucked, bro.
I know he's getting fucked. But I mean, is Will Howard getting fucked right now?
To say that around Twuan,
right behind it.
I know he's a gospel. I'm sorry, Twuan, but
I
am what I am.
Y'all can stand. Hey, I agree with y'all. I completely agree with you.
You just got to boil and tell. Enough is enough, dude. Get this dude, and then give him an opportunity. And you know what? How could you? You're saying you got good value. What's the best value of picking a guy in the 4th round that was projectedly a while ago a number 1 pick in the draft? And number 1 talent.
Gravy, I'm not disagreeing with you that he's getting that like maybe there's some fuckery going on. All right.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is, for example, all I'm saying is, for example, the way Twuan was making his case for Sanders is so talented that a team has to at least give him a try. I kept thinking that it was going to be the Rams, right? Because at some point Matthew Stafford was going to get old. So every time, man, the Rams kept passing him up. And the Rams kept passing him up. So if Sean McVay doesn't want you, maybe that's why Stefanski didn't want you.
You're throwing to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams.
But that's what I'm trying to say is, and then to your point, Gravy, there's only been 5 quarterbacks taken so far. The 2 in the 1st round, right? Shuck, Milroe, and then Gabriel. That's the other 3. So to say right now that Shedeur is getting fucked, then I can make the same argument that, well, then so is Will Howard, so is Quinn Ewers, so is Kyle McCord, so is Riley Leonard, because there hasn't been this quarterback run yet. Now, if tomorrow you end up seeing Howard gets taken, Ewers gets taken, McCord gets taken, Leonard gets taken, and Shedeur is still there, now you can make a super strong case that he's just clearly getting fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Omar, you can't tell me that Shedeur Sanders doesn't belong that he belongs in the 4th round. You can't tell me that, bro.
What I've been telling you though is that there hasn't been a need for these teams. Think about
I understand that. But he should have, in everybody's view, he should have been picked already. Unless you just thought he sucked and you don't like the guy. He should have been picked already.
I mean, that's a good question to ask the Steelers, because they're the only ones.
But you should have been picked. You should have been picked that already. Okay, good, Twuan. You ain't said much, man. Let's go. Tell me what's up.
I just don't. It does not make sense. Like, even with the, you're talking about the foolery, right? It's one of those. He was ranked what in the draft at quarterback?
No, he was a 1st round grade.
Mel Kiper had him as the best quarterback in the draft, bro, over Cam.
Yeah. So how did all these guys, all these analysts, all these pundits say he's going there? You know what I'm saying? He's this value, and he's still sitting there.
These guys.
Well, let me ask you this, Gravy, real quick.
Angelo, hold up. These guys that do these shows and do these mock drafts that we pay attention to, NFL Network. What the fuck you doing there? If you're picking Shedeur Sanders, the 2nd best quarterback, and the number 1 pick, what the hell is he doing? These people in the NFL were making these guys look like fools. They're looking like fools on their podiums in the middle of the draft, saying, they don't know what to say either. They're just like us, Angelo. And then you're trying to make sense about this. You're just and then you got these professionals. I'm not saying you're not good at what you do, Leo, but Angelo, but these professional people that we look at data and probably you do our mock drafts and go by how we do things and things like that. They're saying that this guy is a number 1 pick a 6 pick, drafted the top 10 pick, and the dude's in the 4th round. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to say, Angelo. And this is media. They get paid to bullshit you, and they don't know what to say. So I'm like, what?
I was watching
here.
that. I was watching that, Gravy.
And a lot of them are saying this is more than football. This ain't football. This is different. This is different.
No, so, and that's so. Let me ask you this question real quick, Gravy, and you too, Twuan. Do you believe that after let's say before Tyler Shuck got picked, okay, so before Tyler Shuck got picked, do you believe that sometime before Tyler Shuck got picked and the 1st round pick, that the 32 owners all called each other and was like, "Hey, man, do we all agree that we're going to teach Sanders a lesson and we're not going to pick him?" And then everyone
I hope that ain't it, bro. I hope that ain't it, bro, because if these owners are like that, bro, and these owners are like that, then the NFL's jacked up, bro. That's jacked.
Unfortunately,
there's way worse people. There's way worse people that did shit than Dion. There's way worse people that did shit in college worse than this. There's people that kill people on their way. This dude has done nothing to deserve what he's getting right now. And if it is not football, he hasn't done nothing. Never been arrested. Never did anything to females. Shit, a guy got drafted second that has sexual assault charges. A guy that got drafted the first pick, Green got 2 sexual assaults.
I know.
Conviction.
I know.
Got picked in the 3rd round.
But he's an edge, and they needed an edge.
We know it ain't that. We know it ain't that. Why ain't this guy getting treatment like that? How come no one ain't booing him up and telling him shit like that? What does he get? Why does he get light shined on him, and this guy gets dissed that light?
Right. No,
I just don't like that, Angelo. I just don't like that.
I understand.
I just don't like it. This dude worked hard for what he did, even though he might be an asshole, even though he might be cocky, and I don't like his mannerisms because I'm a football coach and I'm old school. I don't like you wearing your hats like this in an interview. I don't like gold around your neck when I don't like that. No, you got to impress people when you're in a position to impress people, and you do it. And I want you to look nice. I want you to speak well, talk well. Talk with good etiquette and be professional about it. That's what I'd like. But if you ain't that way, and then if people expect you to be that way and you're not, and you get knocked for it, it's beyond that. I think it's beyond that.
And my entire point to it, again, Gravy, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. What I'm saying is you don't have a strong enough case yet until we see a complete run. Like if we see 4 quarterbacks in a row get taken in the 4th round, and none of them are Shedeur Sanders, now you have a case.
So Angelo, we gotta wait out. We gotta wait for the knockout punch. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that, like right now, we've
been hitting all these rounds, and now we gotta wait for the knockout punch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no. But all I'm trying to say, hey, real talk. All I was trying to say is, again, I can make a reason for exactly why each one of those teams took the quarterbacks that they took, except for maybe Cleveland. That's about the only one that I would sit there and go, ooh, because even Gravy agreed with me about the Saints. The Saints wanted a more their system, and Tyler Shuck is 6'5", dude. He's fucking 230. Like that's not Shedeur. You
gotta know Kellen Moore though, bro. You gotta know what he's about. You gotta understand that. A lot of people are just talking and they don't understand where these guys went to fits what they do. You know what I mean?
So Gravy, you know this far better than me, man. You fucking coach it. So why do you think Kevin Stefanski didn't want to take Shedeur Sanders?
Because he needs a guy that Sanders is not known for his arm. You know what I mean? And in the way Kellen Moore designed play, look at Dallas, dude. Look at Dallas, man. Deep corners, deep routes, deep this running game, things like that. But what's expected from Shedeur Sanders is that Shedeur Sanders is known to not throw a good long ball.
Now, how about Kevin Stefanski though from Cleveland? Why didn't Kevin Stefanski take him?
Who does Stefanski get?
Dylan Gabriel.
That one I'm iffy with.
You know, to be
Okay.
honest,
He could have got Shador Sanders.
I
Now
think
here,
he
I'll
might-
tell you. Hold on, real quick, Juan. Then I'm gonna let you go. The two reasons why I don't think Cleveland took him is number one, it's on record and it was on tape, and they were showing it on Instagram and YouTube. The Shador Sanders was making fun of Joe Flacco and the Browns with his dad, and he kept saying things like, "Look at who they got. They got a 46-year-old as their quarterback." Blah blah blah. So that probably didn't sit well. That's number one. And number two, his dad saying to everyone that his son does not want to play in cold weather, blah blah blah. That probably is also another reason why the
I agree with you. I agree with you on saying stuff like that. Okay, but situations like that are leaked, I think it's jacked up. And in the now, it ain't like you're gonna say, "Hey, Shiloh, don't say shit like that," because I would say the same things. Look at that guy. They got a 40. I would say that in front of everybody. They got fucking Joe Flacco, even though Joe Flacco is amazingly kicking ass right now, you know, he does things. But if I was a young guy and I wanted to get picked, they got a 46-year-old quarterback. It might be cool to go there. And then, you know, his dad should not say what he thinks his son should do. He should say, "I don't care where my son plays, as long as he gets an opportunity." That's what I would have been saying. Maybe it got misconstrued, or maybe he shouldn't have said it, or maybe he didn't want nobody to hear it and somebody did. How many times do we do that, Angelo? It's just in a bright light now, and it gets shined too much. It just gets shined too much. And
like he was saying it publicly, but go ahead, Twan.
If he's getting ripped for that, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I think also with Dylan Gabriel, you know, is Dylan Gabriel really going to push for a starting position?
You never know, though, Twan. You can't say that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like certain people, you know, when they come in, they're coming for that number one spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think
he should think that way. He should think that way.
I think there's just certain quarterbacks that are just like, hey, if I can get in and be, you know, I'm cool being the backup. I'm cool being the emergency quarterback that don't dress and whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that are at that state, and I think that might be, because unfortunately I hate that Dylan Gabriel, because there is some talent there with Dylan Gabriel, but I think his career is gonna fall off, because that organization over there is not. It's a graveyard for quarterbacks.
This is this guy's name. Thank you for being here, man. Something to show, something all of his shows. Hit all our buttons, man. But it does matter, dude. Unless it does matter. That does matter. The way you present yourself, it does matter to these people. Some of them have their own little let goes, and some of them are strict like that. But it does matter. In the long run, it does.
And especially, and I can speak to this because he's an African American. There's certain ways that you, in certain arenas, you have to present yourself a certain way, because they already, before you walk in, they've already had a misconception of who you are and what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like my name is my full name is a black name. So when people don't know who I am before I open my mouth and I start speaking, and they're like, "Oh, he speaks well," or, you know what I'm saying? Like I get that all the time, and it's because I have to, in certain arenas, I have to change the way I present myself or how I project myself in certain places, because they want to cancel me. You know what I'm saying? They want to cancel me even before I get there. So I have to put myself in a place where I'm respectful and I have everything together. I'm, you know what I'm saying?
And you know what, Twan? Everything that you're saying is totally valid, man.
Totally true.
Nobody's going to disagree with you on that. But let me just say this to you about one of the things of what made Cam Ward help get him the number one pick. All right. When they were breaking down Cam Ward's story, that guy was a 0-star recruit. Coming out of high school, only one college gave him an offer. Then he took that, built himself up, and then he got that shot in Miami. And in every step of the way, he showed humbleness, he showed team first, he showed grace and leadership. He never showed that he was this great, amazing, blah, blah, blah. His father always kept him grounded. And when they picked his name, dude, he was crying for real. He was very emotional when his dad was doing that little thing that they do where he's in front of the camera and congratulating him and stuff, right? And if you take that story and now flip it to, and again, this isn't the kid's fault, but his dad's a superstar, prime time, you know, all the stuff, right? And that's the household he was raised in. And this kid did everything right too. Like Turf said, he's got no priors, nothing, right? Good kid, super clean, did everything right, played his ass off, took hits. Like nobody's going to question any of those abilities. But now it's like, man, look at the two differences, right? You know, all the hype for the kid versus no hype at all for Cam Ward, and then Cam Ward gets the first pick. So I believe that if the foolery continues, and let's say something crazy does happen, a gravy, and that no other quarterback does get picked the rest of the way, right? Or more quarterbacks do get picked, but then Shador's the only one that doesn't get picked. That shit's going to be a Netflix documentary on how did this kid who was graded the second best, and sometimes some people said the first best quarterback, he didn't even get picked at all. So I don't think it'll go that far. I don't think the NFL wants it to go that far. I think he will get picked. I'm just saying that I think that if the Raiders pick him, you know, if the Raiders do pick him, it's probably going to be the 6th or the 7th round pick.
That's one thing that I don't want to happen. That's why I don't.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting picked. I don't
want that.
Like,
you know, I want him to get picked. Look, if the Raiders do, then deal with it. I got to deal with it. But it's beyond that. To me, it's beyond him getting picked by us.
Gravy,
I want to do him a favor, bro.
No, I know, but no, come on, bro. You yourself know that as a fan, we don't do favors, right? We don't. Yeah, we want the best, what we need. So the 2 picks that we have left at the 4th round, what's the need that we need? Linebacker. You said it, Gravy. You said we need linebacker, right? So of the 2 4th round picks that we need linebacker. Twuan, do you disagree? Do you think we still need a quarterback out of one of those 2 or both of those?
That's where I was, I was kind of disappointed in the draft. You know what I'm saying? That's why I give it an A-, is because we didn't address linebacker. But there is right now, currently, Jack Sawyer still out there.
Okay.
And Max Crosby likes Max Crosby likes Jack Sawyer. So that just adds another, you know what I'm saying? You keep Max happy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And add a linebacker. So and he's also one of those linebackers that he's a linebacker, but he also can rush too. So you have that flexibility. Okay.
Now, what's another need that we would? So let's say we take Jack Sawyer as our first 4th round pick. What's another thing that we need? Think about need.
And my view, go ahead, Twuan.
I think another corner, if not safety.
Okay, so neither one of you said quarterback. So why in the hell would the Raiders take one of their 4th round picks?
You didn't let me speak yet, brother.
Oh, go ahead, go, Gravy.
Out of all the rest of the picks, I think later on in the draft, we should get a developmental quarterback at Chip Kelly's choosing and who the type guy that he wants to develop. Don't really care who it is. But what's next for me first is linebacker. And then I would like to get what people want to say is not really a priority, but a bigger, stronger receiver. That's what
I agree with you. 100%,
in the long run,
bro.
You don't in the long run. You can never have a more defensive lineman or more edges. I'll take those also.
See, now you and I are thinking the same way, Gravy. That's what I would have wanted. I would have wanted the Florida Gator kid, DK, as the second pick in the fourth, and the first pick in the fourth would have been. I'd be fine with Jack Sawyer if that's who you want, Twuan, or that's who you think would be good. Great. Put two Ohio State guys right next to each other again.
I think that they're expecting, or they want to, or think highly of these linebackers that we have, or that are backups, and then they're going to give them an opportunity because they haven't got an opportunity at all. None of these backup linebackers has got an opportunity, and I think that they'll probably get one because I'm not satisfied with the linebacking core at all. Right? But they have to do something. I think that's the weakest room we got.
Yeah. I'm with you too. I think there is some guys that do have potential. You know what I'm saying, like the Amari Gainers, the the Eichenbergs, but at this point I don't think they're completely ready that I can say, oh yeah, go out there and hold it down for us in the middle of our defense. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, remember, this is a new regime. They didn't draft those guys. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to like those guys either. So they can bring in linebackers that they actually do like, or that actually do, work, and go with it that way. Whether Patrick Graham, is done with that person or not.
I think our high pick in the fourth round will be the last guy with the minimal development, the most ready guy that they could put. And if it is a linebacker, the most ready guy to make the impact. Beyond this first pick in the fourth round, everything else is developmental to me in my book. So we're getting another. And I think the linebackers that you said, well, they've been there 3 years, right? And besides the Eichenberg, this is the second year. Mari Burney been there 3 years, dude. He should be ready already. He just had that opportunity to get in there. But why have a guy stick around and do nothing? Those are the past regimes. That's what we're saying. Yeah. That's an excuse. That's a good excuse. But they need to be ready, bro. They need to be ready now. If you feel that,
you got to make your money.
If you feel that comfortable not to get a linebacker high, you better be. These guys better be on point now, because if you don't got good linebackers, your defense ain't gonna do shit, especially in the run game.
Because even with I like Devin White, but you know what I'm saying, like, he's only on a 1-year contract, so obviously they got him on a prove it contract. So it's not like they're committing to him as to, he's going to be the one of the main middle faces on our defense. You know what I'm saying? So that linebacking group again.
I'm very like, damn, man, we got to do something with that. Just like I was with the running back from where they handled that, and just like I was with the the offensive lineman. I'm fairly satisfied with that. The linebackers next, bro. Linebackers next. And we didn't get the big receiver that we wanted, so we need one either way. So
I think there's a bunch of them still out there. To be honest with you,
but just because you're big, well, a six round big receiver. Well, you know how I feel, Twuan. You might feel different, with the opportunity and stuff. But the way I see and the way it's been traditional, me really looking at it like the way it is, 6th, 7th round receivers. We're just getting dudes that we had before, dependent on them to blossom into something that they weren't.
Bodies.
Yeah, we get so hype on these guys and call them 2.0s and shit. It's like, Luby was the 7th round, bro. McCaffrey 2.0 right off the job, bro.
McCaffrey, we got Christian McCaffrey on the team.
We got McConkey 2.0. We only ever seen him play in a Raider uniform yet. You know what I mean? People doing that. I hate that shit. Don't do that.
Who's calling McConkey?
And the Raider fans already 2.0. You ain't seen my chat? McConkey 2.0 looking back.
Man,
some people didn't even like McConkey, bro. You like McConkey.
Some people were saying that Jack Besh is comp from college is Puka Nacua. same measurables. So if you look at Puka Nakua's college tape, it's basically what we got in Jack Besh now. I'd be happy with that if that's real. If he really is,
turns out to be that guy, Puka Nakua, he better be to try to. But don't disrespect Puka Nakua like that, bro. You're talking about a rookie all-pro, starting receiver all-pro, bro. Don't disrespect him like that. Go down a little bit side. Go down a couple more sizes, bro. And you can't. Then this guy's supposed to play like the dude? Nah, I don't think so. Dude, we got 85 in the building, bro.
Wow,
Twuan, we got crazy. 85. That's some good ass math, dude. At 1:30 in the morning. Way to go, chat. Shit.
Hey, so real quick. So I want us to, I agree with Gravy. I agree with you too, Twuan. That 108 pick, I'd love it if it is a linebacker, and if it's Jack Sawyer, great. Again, I told you guys greedily, I'd love Jackson Woodard. He's a UNLV guy, but whatever. But linebacker is something, just like Gravy said, we need it. So let's not have any foolery. Let's just get the guy. Let's address it already so that it's over. We have a
don't play with that. You get it.
Yeah. For that next one, which is the 135, which will be the 33rd position. For wide receivers, there are so many choices to the measurables that Gravy's talking about. So I'm going to pop off some names to you guys that I think will be great. Alec Aminor from Stanford, 6'2", 210. That
he ain't
kid is a
gone
baller.
yet?
No, he's still there.
Yet?
He's still there, Gravy. He's still there. I also would love if we miss on Aminor, Chimere DK, 6'1", 200. That guy's a deep threat. He ran the 4.3. He's fast, and he played for Florida Gators. I'd love a guy like
these guys
that.
On?
Huh?
You know any of these guys that Angelo talking about, receivers?
I've heard them.
Okay. The next guy is 6'5", 205 from Tennessee, Dante Thornton Jr.
I
don't know if you saw Nico Imailabeva throw to him. That guy was a beast, right? 6'4", 220, Isaiah Nair from Nebraska. That guy was, again, I'm talking about the measurables you wanted, Gravy, and these guys are all still here. My guy that I would love for us to take, because I saw him play, he's a special teams guy too, blocks, punts, and a whole bit, but he's fast. Ricky White the third from UNLV, 6'1", 190. Love that kid. He's the special teams player. 6'1", 190. Special teams player of the year.
You know what? Oh, let me stop you there, Angelo. You know one thing about Ricky White that I'm gonna be that we do go that way, or we are looking at him, and he's a good receiver because I'm in Fresno. I'm Fresno State, so we know a lot about UNLV. But the thing is about them is that what they do now at UNLV with that offense, nobody does that, and that's going to be the difference of. I think he's going to do good, bro. But what he does over there. The transition of that to regular football, because that's not regular football what they play over there. It's different. It's weird, but it's badass. It's badass. Right. I'm learning about that offense as we speak, and then it's very complicated, but it works, and it manipulates the way football is done now. It's there to beat the press man. It's basically there to beat zone because everybody's running zone now. And then if you press, you get fucked. And if you play zone, they want to bring you. They want you to bring you in, act like it's a running. Boom, something else is going on. A lot of misdirection. Yeah. That's what I question. And I could see White going to the Raiders. I could see that.
Yeah, and then another kid from Auburn, 6'1", 190, same measurables as White, is Keandre Lambert-Smith. He ran the 40 in 4.37. He's a deep threat guy coming out of Auburn. He's still available. So that's what I was saying is, damn, dude. Like,
I like Nick Nash.
San Jose State.
Okay. So I'll tell you why I didn't mention Nick Nash. Okay, because from what Gravy is talking about is Nick Nash is a great possession receiver, 6'3", 205. This guy was a beast at San Jose State. We saw him too. The thing about him is he doesn't have that deep speed that Gravy's talking about. He's not a real X. He's more like a slot guy. And we already got Jack Besh, so we wouldn't want two slot guys. We wouldn't want two of the same.
We got a bunch of slot guys because Jacoby is also.
That's true. Well, that's why we need an X guy, right? We need a guy who could take it deep, who could stretch the field a little bit. But I wouldn't hate that if we picked Nick Nash. I'd be like, hey, Twuan, Nick Nash, that's awesome because he was great.
I thought that Trey Tucker was our stretch of the field guy.
Well, that's only one though, and for a fact, we need more than one. If Trey Tucker gets injured,
I'm a possession guy, Angelo. I'm not into deep bombs and all that shit anymore.
Well, these guys are big.
I like doing it, but I'd rather run the football. I'd rather just take chunks out of you than just try one thing 40 times and be on. Because I only get half when I could be 100% with just two things.
Well, the guy you're gonna like is Gravy's Alec A. Minor. That guy from Stanford is dope,
Stanford kid, and I like the UNLV kid.
Yeah, the Stanford kid is the real deal. But yeah, so if we address those two things, we're not gonna have a pick in the 5th, so we're not gonna trade our picks to go get a quarterback in the 5th. So what's our next?
Scatterbo still there?
Who?
Scatterbo, he's still there.
Oh yeah, Scatterbo as well. So you want a running back next? So after we get linebacker and wide receiver, you want a running back next?
Damn good football player. He's good to have on your team.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if he trades back.
Oh, that's true. You're right, Twuan. That's true. We could trade back and get more picks. I don't think we will, but you're right. We could
trade back to get that 5th, huh?
I can see that.
Because you're gonna wait. You're gonna get this 4th round pick. How many 4? We got 2 4s. We got 2 4s.
Yeah, we have 2 4s right now. We're picking at the 33rd position of the 4th and the 4th position of the 4th. So if we took the early 4th and traded down to get a 5th,
man, that's gonna be a long ass wait after the 4th round.
No, that's what I was saying. Is like you could, if you take Jack Sawyer, if you take your linebacker early, you can take that last 4th pick and maybe trade and get like 2 5ths, or early 5th or something like that.
I don't know, man. I don't like talking about 5th rounders.
But I think we're gonna pick on our 2 4s.
Get all that shit trade up to the 4th. Get all that shit trade up to the 4th. Get the best players and let's roll.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's what I'll do.
I agree.
I don't need to wait till the 7th round to pick somebody. Fuck
yeah,
that.
no, I think we're gonna go like what you guys are saying. I think it'll be linebacker,
pick, right?
I think it'll be best available linebacker or best available wide receiver or both for those 2 picks, and then we could take some of, like I said, we could take 2 of the 3 6th round picks or all 3 of them and trade back to the 5th or something. Or we could just wait, man, a long ass wait, no 5th round pick. And then when we get to the 6th, that's where you start to look at what running backs
you guys just might do that, man. You guys just might do that. Might just have to wait. If they're Raiders, I'll check in once in a while. I might get on a couple of shows. What you guys got planned for tomorrow? What are you doing, Angelo? You gonna get on a couple of shows or what?
Yeah, no. So the boxing is from 9 to 4. I gotta watch that.
Oh, you're doing boxing stuff tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I'm gonna be on Jeff's show, and then we invited you to that too. That's kind of what we're all kind of just going in and out of. And then Twuan, if you want to come to that too, let us know. It's 9 to 4, or I mean, it's 9.
Hey, look, I work with everybody, so send me the link. That's
I'll send you the link.
Simple as that. If you don't send it, then obviously you don't want me to be there. So.
Your health is good now, bro. Your health is good now. You're getting on shows now because I give you the respect to wait. I don't want you to be in and out. So I want to see your face, bro. There it is, right there. You got a beautiful face right there, bro. You got that.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that.
You get more views I get more views when I see when Twan's face is on there, man. You got.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's an impact right there, man. With that dome and with that knowledge.
Hard-headed.
You can come at any time, Twuan, whenever you're ready. But I'm sending you the link right now. Jeff said he's going to start at 8. I'm not going to go on until probably between 9 and 10. I got to take.
Just let me know what time.
No, you can go in there anytime. They're going to start it at 8. But you can go there at any time you want to.
8 o'clock in the morning, but I ain't up, bro. I got to take a piss at 8.
You're going to get up whenever. Like I said, I probably won't even get on until closer to like.
My boy Rebel, he said that Ricky Wright ran a 4.62. I don't want that dude.
No, I know, but you have to watch them play, Rebel, and he's faster than whatever.
Well, that offense you could get away. With that offense, you could get away with a guy that runs 4.62. I'll tell you that.
But I'll tell you this, man, it doesn't take away the fact that he was the special teams player of the year for the Mountain West.
Well, Rebel, I know Rebel's listening. Rebel, if you, I don't know if you know this, but look at that UNLV. I'm sure you watched this dude, but look at that offense deep. Look at that offense really, really deep. Get educated on it and see how it flows. Watch a couple of games. Get your habit on watching it. First of all, if you love football, and I know you do, you'll fall in love with it for one, and then and you'll see the impact that he'll have. But in our system, running 4.6, it ain't gonna pan out.
Is it similar to the air raid?
It's better than air raid.
It was called the Go-Go. It was the Go-Go offense. It's kind of like a mixture.
The Go-Go offense. And is he the head coach now?
No. So the new head coach is Dan Mullen. We're gonna run the same thing that Dak Prescott did at Ole Miss.
Where did that offensive coordinator go? That designed it. He was at UNLV. He went to a team now. It was in the Mountain West. Didn't he go?
I think he ended up getting a coaching job. Sacramento. He went to Sacramento.
Sacramento State. There it is.
Yeah, he went to Sacramento State. So, but no, what we're going to run now is the Dan Mullen system, which is the spread. So we're running the same thing that Dak Prescott was part of.
RPO. No, he's not an RPO guy. He's a zone read guy. He's a zone read guy.
And we took and our quarterback for UNLV now is that super talented guy that's built like Anthony Richardson. He's even a little bit bigger and he's pretty quick. From Michigan. I'm forgetting his name right now.
Don't compare anybody to Anthony. That's bad. That's bad.
No, I'm just telling you that's the measurables. The measurables like Cam Newton, like
big guy.
Yeah, we took him from Michigan. So Michigan had him, but they weren't going to use him anyway. So he left. Now he's going to become our starter.
That's all right. You can have anybody you want, bro. You still got to beat the Bulldogs. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, I know. Fresno is always fun to play. So we should go to the game together, or let me know if you're coming to the Fresno game.
You know what? We're planning on that, bro. We're planning on going to a Las Vegas game because one of my sons. Well, I work for the railroad, and my sons do, and so when I think one of them's going to be based there because it's growing, bro. It's growing so much over there that they're going to get Burlington Northern's going to get a depot there. So they're building, they're laying track all the way to there now. So it's going to be around there. So he's going to live there.
Oh, cool. Awesome. He'll like it.
I don't know where yet. Him and my soon-to-be daughter-in-law for the third time. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's gonna do that. So
you trying to figure it out, Gravy?
He's spreading my seed. He's spreading my seed like I'm a Twuan. I can't stop him, bro. He's just like his dad.
You trying to figure it out, man?
You trying to figure it out still, bro?
That's funny.
I was doing a lot of shit when I had him, bro. He one of them. He one of them 80s babies. Like, you know how we were, bro. He Gen X.
Yeah. No, but man, it's exciting stuff, Gravy. Like I was saying.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. But first of all, I don't even give a shit if Fresno State wins or not. I just want to see that go live.
Well, I don't. Again, Gravy, I don't think we're going to run that anymore. I think Dan Mullen is going to run the spread.
Oh,
now.
Shit. I got to go see Sacramento State, Fresno State. They play all the time anyways. I could just
go
you
got
Sacramento
State, man. Yeah.
I've tried to see if this dude has seminars. He didn't want to do seminars, bro, because he don't want nobody knowing what he does.
You know, the type of offense we're going to run is the same one that Tim Tebow had.
Yeah, he spreads you out, bro. Damn it, he spreads you out real good. There's a difference. Is that the difference with that? I'll just be short with it. The difference with that is that he spreads you out, but he's different because he'll have you do run a spread, but usually shotgun, and when you're in shotgun, it's an RPO. But when you're under center, it's a zone read. So that's the difference. That's a difference of the zone read and an RPO. The RPO is in shotgun. You can run it under the center, but it's very, very hard. But the zone read is what you're gonna see all the time. So that's interesting. I like that flows. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, the go-go,
man, very hot, very interesting. The stuff that goes on in there is always different. I like that. I like that creativity that he brought to it. He made that offense in Las Vegas, bro.
The offensive coordinator did that. Because our head coach ended up becoming the head coach of Purdue, so he went to Purdue for more money. But the guy who really did the go-go is the offensive coordinator, who's now the head coach of Sacramento State. But if you play the college football game, Twuan, they have the go-go offense there, so you can kind of see.
Oh, okay.
How it is. It is kind of crazy. There's a lot of movement.
You got a quarterback. And if you can see this, you got a running back, and there's one right next to it. This is your quarterback right here, right? My head's the center. My nose is the center. Yeah. And then there's a running back right here, and there's another one right next to it. And usually this is a big old dude like this, and there's a little guy right next to him, like that.
Oh wow!
And it's weird. It's weird, bro. It's weird, and it's very, very 50 points a game, bro. 50 points a game. This guy averaged. Had the best offense in college football like 2 years ago.
Dang.
Scoring 50 points a game, bro. And he started, because I see Nevada. I see him, and I watched him at first day. What the hell is that? These two running backs side by side like that. I never seen that shit before. I thought it was just a one-time thing, but it happened over and over and over and over and over again. Like, this is dope. You could go on a sideline.
That kind of reminds me of when Chip Kelly was in Oregon, and they was just they was just running it up over there. It seemed like they was going for like
when game. Chip Kelly had Mariota.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was mean.
I thought that was like kind of more like the spread, though, right? When Chip Kelly had it.
That was Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is air raid, dude. Air raid zone. Right there. Air raid zone right there, bro.
Yeah. No, I was gonna tell you, Twuan. So the cool thing about UNLV is like last year when we ran that go-go offense, we only lost to Syracuse in overtime on a very controversial shit call, and then we only lost to Boise State, but we almost were the bye team for the college football playoffs, and we almost beat that was a close game. That first game with UNLV, with Boise State, we almost beat them, man. We almost beat them, and then on the second game, like in Boise State, that was a little harsher. But yeah, no, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. That's why I was telling you.
You know what team that beats Boise State all the time in Boise? Twuan?
Fresno. Yeah, no, I know.
That blue turf is red, bro. That blue turf is red when we go over there. It's just Mountain West shit, Twuan. You got San Jose State, bro. You got San Jose State over there, Twuan. Where you're at. So,
but Twuan, that's how I knew about Talisa Fuaga last year. Is we watch it all within division. Yeah. And Oregon State, and we were like, man, this fucking guy is going to be amazing. And then go ahead, Twuan.
No, I just thought, just thinking about you said Talisa Fuaga, I just thought it was ironic that last year we got our pick, right? We got Brock Bowers and Talisa Fuaga, and then this year we got our pick, and then they didn't Membu. Yep. Another offensive lineman behind us. It's like it seems like everybody picks an offensive lineman, you know what I'm saying, after we get our guy.
Yeah, no.
You're a Membu guy?
Yeah, I wanted Membu. I wanted Membu this year.
I just wanted O-line.
Fuaga last year. Yeah.
I just wanted O-line. I didn't care.
You're cool now, right? You're cool now, right?
Oh no, I'm super cool. Right? No, I'm super cool.
Yeah.
I'm super cool. Yeah. No. I needed to see the plan, Gravy. I needed to see what their plan was. Now I understand what they're doing. So they're addressing
But
everything.
the show you
And like
the show you were on, Angelo, was very, very. It's like you thought it was done, deal set. We fucking not gonna do nothing and this and that. You just wait. You let the process go. These dudes know what they're doing. You know, the next day, calm down, and now you feel satisfied.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was telling you that when the when today started, and then we traded down, I was like, all right. And then the guy I wanted was the guy that Miami took when we traded down. But then I was still cool because then I was like, all right, that's all right. Ursery's still there. Ratledge is still there. Then we traded again with the Texans, and then Ursery got taken. But then I was like, all right, I'm still cool. Ratledge is still there. And then Ratledge went right before our pick. And then that's when I was like, oh man, this is some bullshit. And then when we picked Porter, I was like, oh shit, that's a fast ass Richard Sherman right there. That's a quick Richard Sherman.
Yeah, but Cash Lord's right too, because I remember he ran kind of slow. 4.6 is not my type speed, but it's just the offense that he was in. I see you, Rebel. You know, Ricky White wasn't a. He did what he needed to do with that offense, and that to me he did. He just fixed in very well with it, so that's why he's getting the love he's getting now because of that offense. If he was on any other offense, I'm pretty sure he would be a free agent, and maybe he's a free agent now. I mean,
and Rebel, we were picking like A minor from Stanford first, anyways. Like we wanted the big guys, right? A minor and stuff like that. So. But yeah, I mean, well, Twuan, then for after we pick a linebacker, after we pick a wide receiver, what are you thinking now? Like for your projects, you want a running back? You want another running back? You know how we took Lobby last year.
You know what?
Pan out. So.
I would, because there's still some running backs there.
Yeah, a lot.
Very solid. I wouldn't mind double dipping.
Okay. All right.
Because we remember, and the reason why I'm saying I don't mind double dipping is because we have people under contract that may not necessarily take another year. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Zamir White might have, he can go, right?
Right.
we need to, and
would you consider taking 2 of the 6th round picks and making them both running backs?
No,
I'm not saying 2 of the 6. I'm just saying make one of the picks a running back, because we already have Ashton Genty. I would just say have somebody else have that third running back behind Mostert be one of the later round picks.
Right. I
love Mostert, bro. I love Mostert. Mostert's gonna get the big time opportunity. That dude at his age is probably faster than any running back that we have, bro.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
He's faster than Genty. He's faster than Genty. I'll tell you that.
Right. So right now, Twuan, there's Scatterboo. Scatterboo's probably gonna get taken soon. Samson might get taken soon. Devin Neal might get taken soon, but DJ Giddens is still there. Damian Martinez is still there.
Neil?
Neil is still there. Let me see. Hold on. Also, the guy that I think is kind of a sleeper is Taj Brooks is still there. He's kind of a sleeper for me from Texas Tech.
I like Raheem Sanders.
Raheem Sanders is still there. The guy I wanted for us was Mullings from Michigan. Mm-hmm. Khalil Mullings is still there. 6'2", 230. Let's see.
Now we gotta think, bro. I'm hearing a lot of people saying, Thunder and Rain, or what is it? Thunder and what?
Thunder and Lightning.
You can't do zone read with that.
Yeah.
And you can't have a big old guy running zone read. You can't.
No, it's got to be like a Judkins. Yeah, it's got to be like a Judkins Henderson type of a deal. That's the way.
Kind of the same dude, but one's bigger, but they're the same guy, kind of. You know.
Yeah.
You could throw different formations, but you can't change your linemen on what they do. They got to be good at both. Then we're so young now that it'll be probably difficult to do. But
that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying
that are good. You know, they got one side that could do, you know, zone, and then a guy get some power up in there. Yeah, you could do that.
That's why I was thinking that Mullings might be the pick because he's 6'2", 230, but he shows that breakaway speed for Michigan. That's why I was thinking that's probably who they would target, someone like that. He's big, he's strong, he's good at pass block, and he could break. He's got breakaway speed. So he's kind of like a
have one guy that got both, bro. I'd rather have one guy that got both, and we got that guy. And see, the thing is that I don't like 6'2" running backs, bro. They run too high. They're gonna get tackled quick.
Okay.
Unless you're a Henry. Well, the exception is Henry and big guys like that, but there ain't no one bigger than Henry out there. But we see what he does to people. You want a running back that'll be damaged, you know, that'll take it on, but we have a guy now that avoids getting tackles, that takes on tackles and get extra yards, but you don't want to beat him up, but you also don't want a guy to take his hits for him and just use them as that. You got a little battling round, and that's kind of messed up to me. I think that's kind of messed up to me, you know. And I think Mostart and Genty, and my feelings with Zamir White is we're personal kind of, but I'm kind of like with him like I am Wilson. I'll give you another year, dude. Then that's it. You had your chance. This is the last year. To go. Yeah, that's it. You got to go. You know, after that, I wouldn't cut him. He's a big dude, and those type guys you would need for that. But special teams, but running the football on design stuff for you, now you ain't gonna get that. So we picked somebody for that, and we got somebody in free agency that's faster than you, majorly faster than you, and I don't see him in the mix. Sincere McCormick impressed me, and I deserve that he's gonna take over that Zamir role, that Zamir White role. So he did more than Zamir White did, and his 4 games that he played or 3 games that he played, he did more than Zamir did. Right. So I'm cool with that.
Hey, I mean, it could be.
Hey, God, I'm ready to shut it down, Angelo. I'm ready to shut this down too. It's 2:00 in the morning, man. I'm pumped up still, but I need to do something. I need to get off this seat and get up, and it's gonna hurt when I get up. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's always fun, Gravy.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. We'll talk for a minute or two after when we hit the show. But hey, everybody in the chat, got 70 people in this chat. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Thank you for watching, Gravy, my boy Angelo, and my boy Raider Twuan for coming on this late Raider reaction talk, man. It went a bunch of places, man. It went a bunch of places. This show went a bunch of places, and it's cool. I enjoyed it, and it's always good to have you guys' knowledge with me. We'll do this again. We're gonna do this again. So I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. I want to thank everybody that responded to all our answers and said we were bullshit or not. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Well, not a wonderful evening, a wonderful morning, and have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you, folks. Once again, go Raider Nation.